Wow,
Hey, good
welcome back,
evening, everybody.
everybody. This is Captain Sergio, Captain Mike, and we're having so much fun here, we forget what we're doing. You know,
Yeah,
I
always.
tell you, thank God we're getting rain, though. I'm so happy for it. Everything's turning green, water back in the pond. Hey, I'm happy. And maybe the
Yeah,
fish will get happy.
yeah. Well, you must have had more rain than we've had up here. We haven't
We,
had
we,
that much, not a
we've been
ton of
having
rain the
some
past
pretty
week.
decent
It's been
rain.
kind of quiet.
We've been having some pretty decent rain. And south of us, we really have had some good rain, you know.
Yeah,
So we'll see. We'll see. All I know is that, I've been talking to a lot of captains trying to find out about the bait situation. And it's still the same. Bait's hard to get. Everybody's saying
huh,
maybe all this rain is going to down too much salinity. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. But everybody's
yeah.
still complaining about bait. It's hard to get.
Well, we
So
we have no issues here. Haven't
good.
heard
Send
that
them down
issue
here.
yet.
Send some bait down
So,
here to our area. We could use it.
yeah. Trying to get this thing screwed. Okay.
Okay.
You got to see the comments because the comments, for some reason, aren't coming through the Facebook feed as fast as they
No,
normally do.
you got comments? I don't see any.
Not yet. I'm trying to see where the.
I mean, we got 12 people already online, but
Yeah,
I don't see any.
I know. That's no good.
What?
Hello. Well, if you're there, hey guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh, there it is. Jessica's on there. I see her comment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's on there. So maybe just slow this evening.
All right, there it is. Yeah, Jessica's on. I see it. Adrian's on.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Now we're cooking
You-
with gas. There it is. Okay. Adrian's on there. Yeah, got Adrian. Donald's back on. Okay. We got our groupies back on.
All right. Come on, guys. Going back up to the hospital to see my dad, so I only watched for a little bit. Uh-oh. I didn't know
Well,
my
sorry.
dad
You're
was.
hoping he does well there, Jessica. I'm not
Yeah,
sure what's
I
going on, but
hope everything's
everything's
okay.
okay.
Wow. And
So, how
making
is
it.
other than the bait? You've been fishing at all?
No, not this. I was out last week one day. I think
Yeah.
it was Thursday, and we got a bunch of trout south, went up north to another little area, lost a real big cobia. I fought for about 20 minutes. He finally ate through my 40-pound monofilament leader or fluorocarbon. And my client got a beautiful snook, about 30-inch snook. And I sent some pictures on Facebook, scared the living crap out of both of us. He was reviving the snook, and from underneath the boat, a
Hmm.
dolphin came and ripped it out of his
Oh
hand.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They're notorious. I will say the you're going to get the dolphins, of course, in the deeper water. We have the dolphins around where we are, but they don't really bother the boats too much. They kind of just deal with catching mullet. So you see them there, just destroying mullet out there. But one thing we're having trouble with, and I had trouble with again Friday, is sharks. We were in one spot catching some redfish. We had a tiger come by, nurse sharks, which nurse sharks no big deal. But we had a tiger, lemon, bull sharks, black tips, all within a half hour, circling
Wow.
around. So we're
Jesus.
having a serious issue with sharks lately, um, and it's just getting worse. I mean, you
Well,
around them the whole time. We never had that problem in the past few years. It just seems to be this year. Started a little bit late last year. This year is just really, really getting bad. And if you're posted up anytime, they're going to find the boats. And we hooked into 2 or 3 of them and scooted them off. But as soon as they took off, another one kind of filled the void. So we're having some issues with sharks. You can't really sit on a school of redfish or anything anymore because as soon as you start catching fish, the sharks just move in hard.
well, I
So
can tell you that there's one area around Wheaton Island 2 weeks ago. same thing. We had black tips, I mean, and some pretty nice ones, and a couple of bull sharks that were over 6, 7, close to 7 foot
Mhm.
around the boat. I've
Yeah.
never seen bull sharks, two of them at a time around my boat ever.
Hmm.
I've seen one once in a while running, working the flats, but to
Yeah.
have two, and they were trying to eat our fish. Two
Hmm.
bull sharks and a black tip around the boat. And I mean, one of
Yeah.
the other boats hooked one of them. I mean, it's it's like I don't see any diving birds in Tampa Bay. You go all through our area, you used to
Hmm.
see diving birds. You could see the schools of thrift fins. When you see a school of thrift fin, it's a little pod. I mean, maybe a little 10-foot round pod, not this
Right.
40, 50-foot pods, and you can see the birds diving. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody out there that's listening in has an answer to it, because I don't know.
Yeah. Even Adrian, buddy of mine, he said he saw the bull sharks out there between the islands. Yeah, we're just getting inundated with sharks lately, and I'm not sure the reason why. It seemed, every once in a while in the past, you might have had one that kind of bothered you for a little bit, but it seems like every time you post up anywhere around these outer islands, you're just getting inundated with sharks, and it's numerous ones. It's not just one; it's numerous. I said this is the first time I've seen what 4 or 5 species within a half hour circling the boat. So it's just it's not a good thing because as soon as you catch a fish, you're fighting to get that fish in the boat before a shark hits it, and
Well,
they're
and
on top
and
of it in a
not,
heartbeat.
and not only that, you're getting into scallop season.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks away,
You
and
know,
we've already seen so many sharks there. But that's the weird thing. You can go out scalloping, and you won't see them out there. But I don't know if it's because just the volume of boats that are out there as well kind of gives you a little protection because there's always somebody moving, a boat moving here and there. There's everybody in the water, so I'm thinking, it's just more of a deterrent because there's so many people out there. The sharks don't do it, but yeah, they're inundated in the shallows right now, and it's hard to fish those islands on a regular basis if you constantly have to fight the sharks off. So
and like I said, it's just I've never seen big bull sharks in that shallow of a water. You see, I've seen them once in a while cruising, but to have two of them hanging around the boat and a black tip, I mean, they were there for over an hour.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, and
and
these are not small sharks that we're seeing. We're
no,
seeing
no, they're just
six, seven
scary.
footers
They,
easy.
they can take a nice bite off of you.
Oh yeah, that's going to put some hurting on you. In fact, client that I had on Friday said, they're staying on the river at an Airbnb, and they said they caught two bull sharks off the river, off their dock, which is in a canal off the river. So he said, yeah, it just kind of hangs around there apparently. So we've got a lot of sharks going around. Time to
A
open
lot
up
of
shark
hey,
season.
and we got a lot of bull going around. Oh God. And let's see, Adrian and Donald said the Dolphins were crazy on Saturday around Caladesi. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing though is the tarpon are in here around Crystal River pretty thick right now.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
yeah, when it's glass out there, it's been glass last week. I mean, glass throughout most of the day, which makes it a little more difficult in clear water because they're so uncomfortable. They're very easily spooked. But going out to hit the bait traps, I mean, we saw 2 or 3 pods just rolling. And if I would have brought my tarpon rod, I would have went for them. But all we had was light inshore stuff because it was only a half-day charter. So I didn't bring anything heavy, and I wish I did because we would have probably hooked up on a couple of them. It was easy pickings. You could just see them go through, so you could set up on them quickly. But yeah, they're definitely here. They're rolling through the Crystal River area, big time.
Okay. I got a question because I was taking a survey. I was talking to some people. What's your favorite size on your spinning rods is 7 or 7.6?
Well, I like a 7. I really do. 7.6. If it's more just kind of a little bit more offshore, kind of that mid-range 20, 30 foot, something like that, then a 7.6. But to me, that's just kind of going down for just inshore. A 7.7.2s is what I have now, and they're right in that good range. Only because you're casting them on a regular basis, and when you get a 7.6, it's a little heavier. You kind of have to bump up your um, reel size as well, just a little bit, just to get just to make it work a little bit more. Because to me, a 7.6, depending on the brand, you can get a really really light one. I've got one that they no longer make. It's right behind me. It's one of my favorites. It was made by um, a Texas tackle factory, and they're out of business now. But it was a trout killer, and it's a 7.6. But that to me for a 7.6, it's really thin, it's really light, and it worked really good. But it really depends on the rod. But for the most part, I stick with 7s, 7.2s, medium light, medium to medium light, and that you can cast all day long without getting tired. So that's kind of where I look at it. And it really depends on the manufacturer, how thick that rod blank is, and how heavy of an action it is. So that's what I
Okay.
look for.
Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah, yeah. Now for
Because
trout rods, because I get two sets. I got one set 7.7.2s I use mainly for live bait, and I've got another set that I use for lures for when we go trout fishing and stuff like that. It's a 6.5, and to me that because you can really whip those things, and it's a light one. It's a light action, so you can really whip those things. So you don't have to go so big for lures. I think you can get better control out of a 6.6. So
I was just wondering because we were having a talk the other day, a bunch of us, and we were all discussing about, and like I said, some people like 7.3s, but not everybody makes a 7.3 or 7.2.
right,
Most of them are 7 or 7.6, and then a lot of them are even making some 8 footers, which I think is way too big. You know,
yeah.
but you know,
To me, it just depends on what the use is for that rod. I mean, an all-around rod, if you're using it for lures and everything, I'd stick to closer to 7. But if you have the ability, and most fishermen do have 12 different rods hanging in the garage. So if you're going to do some light, just some bait, then yeah, you could go a little bigger. And if you're wanting to get underneath trees and be able to pull these fish out, then yeah, go a little bigger. But yeah, it's for most clients and everything else like that, 7.7.2 for bait casting, and then 6.5 for jigs. Seems to be the
well,
easiest thing.
let's see what Donald and Alejandro and these guys think. What's your
Yeah.
opinion on your favorite size spinning rods? Uh,
And then
and
what reel do you match it to? What
yeah,
size reel?
because I know like 7 footers, I put 2,500s on it,
Okay,
and then the 7.5, I put 3,000 reels.
gotcha.
Now, in case most people haven't caught on, most 2,500 and 3,000 reels are the same reel. It's
Yeah,
just a bigger spool
spool. Correct.
on
Yep.
the 3,000. As far as the size in other words, they don't change the reel; they just change the spool.
Correct. Yep.
I mean, a lot of
Yep.
people don't realize this.
No, and that's why I'm actually at 3,000s with the smaller rod, the 6X, 4,000s for the live bait, and it's basically because of the spool size. Because there's one technique that I'll use, and I can use both rods for it if need be, for floating a bobber through, with a pin on it, live bait on it, and just letting as much line out, just let that thing fly down the shoreline, and with you in one spot, just allow the tide and everything to take it with you, and you can locate fish a lot easier that way. But you just keep letting that line out. The more line you have, the more distance, the more water you're going to cover. So I like a big spool reel. That casts better to me.
Well, Donald said he told me all about that he loves his rods. What size rods, Donald? You told me the reels. Do you like a 7.2, 7.6 rods? Of
Yeah.
course, he's on a
They're both
kayak.
those. Yeah. Adrian's got live bottoms, which I've got live bottoms right now for the client rods. And yeah, the 7.2s are really good. And it's basically the same setup as a Bull Bay. So I guarantee it's probably going to be a 7 or a 7.6 for Bull Bay.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I've
Bull
used
Bay
them
does.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I've got all these blue ones behind me are the new Hyper rods from Lee Fisher, and they just started using them. They seem to be pretty good, and they're
Yeah.
priced right. I
Yeah.
just there you go. Donald uses 7 and 7.6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah. The
what
Bull
I
Bays are used to doing the 7.76. So what sizes do they have in those hypers?
Hypers they have 7, 7.6, and 8s,
Gotcha.
and they got medium light, medium heavy, and heavy. And
So
really they're great. They're $89 retail,
yeah, that's not
and
bad.
they're real good rods for the
Yeah.
money. I put them against any $130, $40 rod. I just uh, and I have, I mean, I got expensive rods and I got real expensive reels, but for the average angler on my boat, giving them a real expensive rod is not going to make a difference. And the other thing too is, in some cases, some rod manufacturers are just pricing their rods out of this market.
Hmm.
And people think because it costs more money that it's a better rod.
Yeah.
Not necessarily,
No.
you know.
No. No. So
Now,
Natalie, go ahead. You done?
yeah, yeah.
Good.
If you're talking about a Black Widow by Gary Loomis,
Oh yeah.
now that's a rod,
Oh
7 foot
yeah.
rod that weighs under 2 ounces,
Oh, I know.
and it's unreal, and it's worth $500 to 600.
Right.
That's a rod, you
Yeah.
know. But a
It's a
lot of
technical
these,
rod.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
A lot of these, I look at them and I say, you want $200 for that rod, and I put that and put one of these hypers in my client's hands, and he couldn't tell you the difference. They're both going to work just as good, except one's got a lot higher price tag and a name attached to it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not going to tell you that it's not a little better rod. It might have a little better guide, but it's like everything. What you find out there now, the average rod around $100, it's a pretty good rod for the money,
Hmm. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. You don't have to. So Natalie is asking. We got a new viewer. Natalie is asking. Better catches on redfish with live bait or artificial this time of year? Well, for the most part, it's kind of a toss-up, really. Um, as a charter captain, we use a lot of live bait only because it's easier for a lot of our clients. But if you do know how to throw artificials, um, you get anything from spoons, from gold spoons to copper spoons. I love the copper color myself. To kind of explore the area, throw it around a flat, try to look for it's kind of what they call a locate bait. You're kind of looking for fish that are hanging around, ready to eat. And you can throw it, cast it pretty far, and cover a lot of water with those. Also, the mirror guns also do very well in kind of locating the fish. Now, once you find a school, if you're throwing artificial, you're catching a couple of fish out of here, and all of a sudden they stop biting, then you can kind of switch over to live bait. But for the most part, for up here in the Crystal River area, this little guy right here, it's just a little John on an 1/8 ounce head. This color is more for trout than the redfish. I prefer the bourbon with the darker color. It looks more like a shrimp or a worm, one of the things that they do eat. Just jigging that around the harder bottoms, some of the grass flats, and it's a really good locate bait for redfish as well.
Well,
So,
and I'm going to tell you my favorite bait this time of the year for redfish, and I proved it 2 weeks ago. It's cut bait on the bottom.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yep.
that 2 weeks ago when we were out of Cockroach Bay, I proved the point. I mean, out of 8 snook that I landed, 7 were caught on cut bait. The only big redfish that was caught, I caught it on cut
Hmm.
bait, and we had live bait, plenty of it.
Yeah.
I just feel that the big fish this time of the year, with the water temperature gets hotter, they're not going to be chasing a live bait. They let the youngsters, those little 22, 24-inch snook and the rat race chase all that bait. The big mamas, they're just cruising the bottom, trying to
Hmm.
find food on the bottom. And
Yeah.
I seen me personally during the summer, my biggest fish, and sometimes most fish I catch, is going to be on cut bait on the bottom. Fresh cut bait now. I'm not talking
Fresh.
about
Yes.
old frozen bait that's been in your freezer for 2 years. And when you take it out, it looks like leather. I'm
Yeah.
talking about
It's
fresh
not going to
bait.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Right.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing. If you are going to live bait, shrimp you can use. Just depends on how many other bait stealers, pinfish or little mangroves or grunts that are hanging around. That's going to steal your bait faster than redfish is going to find it. So we tend to change it over to pinfish or greenbacks, whitebait. But if you're happen to be doing some lure fishing, you catch a ladyfish, don't throw it back. Use that ladyfish, nice little chunks, throw it around some trees or some mangroves, and you're going to catch snook. You're going to catch redfish with ladyfish chunk. It's to me, it's one of my favorite baits to actually use. You're able to cast it long distances. You're able to flip it underneath mangrove. It just kind of skips just so beautifully. So that's definitely cut baits, and I will throw some live out and some cut in the same little areas just to see who gets picked up first. 9 times out of 10, like Sergio said, that cut bait will get picked up before the live bait.
I mean, that day was 3 of us on the boat, and quite honestly, I mean, Chad he caught about 9 snook, and he caught about 6 of them on live bait. But I caught 8, and 7 were on cut bait, and I
Hmm.
caught that beautiful redfish on cut bait. And the guy that was with us, he went to cut bait and he started catching them. So, and then you might go the next day and they don't want to do that. But I would say that from past experience in the summer months, my success ratio for bigger fish like and snook and reds, it's been on cut bait.
Hmm.
Now, the problem with cut bait is, you're going to get stingrays and you're going to get catfish
Correct.
because they like that cut bait.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that you toss around. And the other day, the same way, that big cobia that I lost, I fought a cobia for about 20 minutes. That sucker ate a big cut threadfin on the bottom with a split shot. So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. She said she
and
got her first snook yesterday on live shrimp. Yeah. That's the interesting thing is, snook will eat shrimp in a heartbeat. They have no problem in eating it. So there are times, if I've got shrimp in the boat and I've got some snook and they're just not very aggressive on the pinfish, throw a shrimp out there on a jig and pop it around. You'd be surprised those snook will react to that quicker because they believe it's a high protein, very low energy type thing. You have to look at fish that way. They're only going to feed. They're going to feed better when they have to put less energy out than what they're getting. That's the whole fishing.
now, but what was happening in my area, Mike, is that they don't have like large shrimp anymore.
Yeah.
Everything they're getting is mediums and regulars, and the mediums are getting pretty close to size to the regulars,
Hmm.
and a lot of those regulars are getting pretty good size to immature shrimp, you know.
Yeah.
And the price went up.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know about
Well,
your
of course it
area,
will.
but
Everything
price
goes up.
went up about 75 cents a dozen in the Tampa Bay market.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the other thing for your market down there. Everything's a dozen. Well, here, you buy them by the 50s. So you get 50 shrimp, 100 shrimp, 150 shrimp, 200 shrimp. That's how they sell them. So, yeah, and 100 shrimp was a few years ago. It was about $15 to $18. Now it's 20, and some places are $22, $25 for 100 shrimp. So it's definitely going up. And again, the sizes, there's not many times that we get the real good selects that you can just chunk. Most of them is going to be your regular sizes, and we don't have we don't have other than a couple of places that I know of, and I'm not going to say who they are, just because I want to keep it that way. But there are some places who will sell you selects. You just having to pay it a little bit extra. But you've got to call them ahead of time, let them know so they can pick out a few. But for most of the bait stores around here, you get what you get. So you're getting the very, very small to the very nice ones. So that's why usually we get a whole bunch of them all the time, because within the mix, you're going to get a normal, a few good ones out of there to fish. So kind of go from there.
Yeah, see, even Adrian said it, same thing. So over here, you're talking now, because I was surprised, 350 a dozen for medium.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about 100 shrimp, you're talking about 8 dozen. So you're looking at $24, $28
Yeah.
for about
Yeah.
50 shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they were 275 just 5 months ago,
Yeah.
and it used to be 250 about a year ago.
Shoot, I remember complaining of a dozen for $1.
Oh yeah. Well, when I was a kid, it used to be 3 dozens for $1.
Yeah. So
32
yeah,
cents a dozen.
the times have definitely changed. But yeah, their prices are going up, and it's this the quality of shrimp and the sizes also depends on the seasons.
Well, what they told me is the cost of diesel is so expensive.
Mhm.
Number one, of course, in the summer, they get buried, and you get a lot of the little ones. Excuse me. So between the cost of diesel going up, these shrimpers aren't going out as far as they normally would to try
No.
to get the bigger shrimp. They're
Mhm.
staying closer to shore. And
Yeah.
I was looking, and a lot of them, I'm telling you, medium or small.
Mhm.
They're not. Man, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know what to say. And pinfish, yeah, I'm gonna start putting my pinfish trap out next week.
Yeah. I mean, that's what saves me during the summertime, because I think I bought 100 shrimp the other day. And I more or less I used that for chum than I did anything else. I don't think we put a shrimp on a hook at all. Just went to the trap, got a bunch of bait, pinfish, and used that all day. So, and summertime to me, it kind of changes. Wintertime, that's all it is shrimp. I mean, that's pretty much what we use. Find some ladyfish, use chunk ladyfish and shrimp. That's pretty much the
Well,
only
no wonder
bait.
you don't have the pinfish problem.
No. Well, again, in wintertime, pinfish kind of go offshore, so we don't have that issue. You can fish shrimp a little bit better in the wintertime. Now, not necessarily right in the river, because in the river, you've got a bunch of small mangroves and everything else like that. So you're going to get a lot of bycatch from using shrimp in the river, but you'll still catch decent amount of trout, red drum, and redfish as well. You just bulk up on how much shrimp you get, because you're going to go through a bunch of them. But for the summertime, once it hits last month through October, November, until it starts getting cold, it's pinfish the whole time. So yeah, it's just easier. You can use them live or you can use them cut, and they're going to last you a little bit longer.
So
Yeah.
and there's been a lot of little pinfish. Also, there haven't been bigger sized pinfish in the bay.
No, even in my traps. Yeah, even in my traps, we're getting the smaller size, and I'm not sure what the reason for that. It's in the area I use a lot, and I usually get the 3 to 4 inch pinfish, which are really, really good. But now it seems to be the 2 and 3 inches all we're finding. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Just may have been a bad winter. It was really cold for a little couple of snaps. So might have had something to do with it. I'm not sure, but yeah, the pinfish sizes seem to be off a little bit, but it may be just a seasonal thing too.
Let's hope that's the case. But again, I like to be able to talk to a marine biologist or something and have somebody kind of give me an explanation why this area is so bad on bait. And it's been like this now, off and on for the last 3 or 4 years. It's just, God, the other day I was all over the bay. We had beautiful almost flat calm, just a little ripple in the water. No birds, no pods of thread fins. I saw two little tiny pods, and I just can't figure it out. It
Are
doesn't make
you
sense.
are you finding more bait farther south?
They're catching bait, but even there are a lot of thread fins around the Skyway. But then a couple of the guys that sell bait were telling me some of them are having to go to the beach to
Hmm.
find the white bait because
Wow.
even the Skyway Pier is holding a lot of thread fins. And of course, catching thread fins is like throwing their money away because by the time they put them in the pins, they're dead. They
Hmm.
can't sell them.
Wow. Well, I was just thinking, with all the work over there to Howard Franklin and all that kind of stuff, just wondering if that possibly had anything to do with it. But that's more farther north in the bay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like a lot of people were throwing their nets on Gandy,
mhm.
and it was like a hit or miss. You could throw and hit one spot that you were able to get some greenbacks, but then the three other throws was thread fins. Now,
Yeah.
a little bit of 3-4 inch thread fins, I wouldn't mind having 25, 30 because I cut the tail, and that's terrific dead bait sitting on the bottom.
Mhm. Yeah.
But as far as for everyday fishing, then some of the bait that you're buying now that they're selling, the other day we had a hard time. I think we didn't get any mango snapper bites. And I think it was because the baits were so big. They weren't, and
Yeah.
we lost a few fish where we could tell that there might have been a redfish or something grabbed the bait and they just couldn't quite swallow it because these
Mhm.
were, I mean, they were pretty nice big baits.
Yeah.
That's why I wound up just cutting the tails off, about a third of the tail off, to shrink them down a little bit too, to make them
That's true.
more so they could get them.
Yeah. Could have been. Could have been. So, well, who do we got a fishing report?
All right, let's do Michael Dawson.
Sounds good.
Hey guys, Captain Michael Dawson here, Patriot Guide Service, here with this week's fishing report and forecast. So we have been fully engulfed in tarpon season up here in the Anclote area. That is the only thing on my mind. It's the only thing we've been running out here, and it's the probably the best time of year to come out here and try to catch a big tarpon. Our average fish up here at the Anclote, we don't get the little ones like some guys get in the Bay or Boca Grande. Our average fish is 150 pounds and up. We see a couple over 200 every year. Lots of 170s, 180s. We get some big girls off the Anclote area. Right now is prime time to come out here and do it. Get out early morning, first light and last light are going to be your best chances at these fish. Most of our bites are before 8 a.m. or again after 6 p.m. Big pinfish under a cork, 7-knot circle hook. Try to keep that bait in the top 3 feet of the water column when you're in the grass flats, and try to keep it in the top 6 feet of water out on the beach. A lot of these fish lately have been caught out on the beaches right now. Right now in Clearwater, Honeymoon Island, Caladesi Island, and you'll see these fish stage 3 to 400 yards off the beaches right now. Kind of sit out there, kind of watch for a few minutes, figure out what line they're cruising on, and go anchor up on that line. Don't worry about chasing the first fish you see. Kind of just, they all cruise that same depth line all morning. Get in that depth line there and just kind of wait for the next school to come down. Big pinfish, big grunts are my favorite baits. We'll catch some mullet, ladyfish, but those big pinfish and big grunts seem to be the key. If you find them in the grass flats, that's kind of the easiest fish to get to eat. Look out there early morning on those calm mornings. Look for those tails sticking out of the water. They'll kind of look like giant redfish tailing out there on the flat. Just get out there, get in front of them, drift the bait to them. They're very spookish fish, so don't cast on top of their head. Try not to cast over their head. Kind of cast it in front of them and let that bait drift to them, or let that tarpon cruise up to the bait. Captain Michael Dawson, Patriot Guide Service. Get out there, get some of these big tarpon, and have a great time.
Thanks,
All right,
Mike.
thank you, Michael.
Yeah, I do want to say that we only got a couple reports this week. Everybody's kind of on vacation and back and forth. But yeah, if you get a chance to have some family or friends or anybody around those areas, talk to our guides that we have on this program, including myself. We put a lot of time and energy. It takes a commitment to do a report every week. It really does, and we appreciate you doing that. And So yeah, just give them a holler if you're looking to go out and do something different. Give our guys that are on this program a call, because we fished with them, so we know they're good. These are good guys, and you know, they know their stuff, and you'll have a good time. So
And you know, especially if you want to learn an area, let me tell you, it's so much cheaper to have a guide take you out at least once, because he'll teach you more in that one trip than it's going to take you in the next 6 months, maybe a year. And look how much gas you're going to burn and everything else trying to learn what he's going to be able to teach you in a day.
yeah,
So
yeah. The only thing I will say as a charter captain, and I learned this lesson the hard way. Try not to, you know, they're going to bring you to some spots and everything else like that. Try not to anchor yourself up in those same spots.
yeah,
Just as a common courtesy. Because yeah, there was a time that I was, you know, doing some what I call teaching charters, and it was a low key, not expecting to catch a whole lot or anything else like that. Just a few hours teaching people how to fish, what to do, everything else like that. And then sure enough, I go by some spots that I took them to and everything else, and those
and they're there.
in those spots. Yeah, so you know, we appreciate you coming out with us and learning and everything else like that. You know, it's not a place to find your own fishing spot. And again, the ocean is anybody's playground, and nobody owns anything, but it's just kind of common courtesy. That's all.
Well, what happens sometimes too is we have a lot of spots, and like I don't fish the same spot over and over and over.
No.
And what happens, you take some of these locals out and you catch fish somewhere, and they'll sit in that spot week after week after week. And what they don't realize sometimes is some of the things that we don't tell everything is that, hey, we're catching fish here. And you say, wow, it's a great spot. That spot maybe is only good the first hour of the incoming or the last hour of the
Right.
outgoing or
Right.
whatever. The rest of the time, it probably sucks because that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But I've had that happen to me where I've taken some locals out, and I'll see them sitting in this particular spot for like 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
They'll be there, and they're not catching anything because they're not there at the right time of day for
Right.
the bite to happen. But it's human nature.
Yeah.
The thing is, I do it all the time. Anytime I like to just go out and look around. I've got some clients that I tell them, hey, it's just you and me. You're going to pay for the gas, and we're going to have a good time. It's not a charter. And we go out and we just go looking for new places.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go. I know where the fish are supposed to be, but
Correct.
let me try these other places that I haven't tried that it looks fishy to me, but I'm not going to take a regular charter doing that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Even Jim telling you, yeah, they beat that spot up fishing at the wrong time. Yeah. There's a lot of nuances in where we go, what time we go, what reason we go. And I've got, 100, 200 spots in my head to where they work at different times of the year. So it's not just that spot produces fish all the time. It's just at that time of year, at that time of tide, with the wind going the direction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is why I'm here. So you just have to take what you've learned from a captain and just try to utilize that in different areas. And most of the time a captain takes you out, he's just basically teaching you techniques, teaching you how to, what type of bait to use, what type of rods to use, what you're looking for when the bite hits, what you're looking for fish. Here it's relatively simple for redfish. You find schools of mullet, fish it. It's pretty simple. That's kind of the pattern that happens through most of the summer. You find mullet, you fish it. Now, you're going to pull up on a school of mullet, and you're going to fish for 20, 30 minutes and not get anything. Well, because you still have to move. You still have to move within that spot to try to locate where these fish are kind of sitting, because schools of redfish, schools of snook, stuff like that, they're going to position themselves in different areas. And a lot of times I'll pull up on a spot. I've got marked that I've caught a bunch of fish here. I'll pull up, and we're sitting there for 20, 30 minutes without a bite. I'll move another 100 yards over, fish it again, and then all of a sudden we're starting to catch fish. So you have to
And
still,
it happens to me all the time.
yeah,
How
you
many
still
times
have
have
to
I,
pay attention to it. It's not just going
and
to be right there at that spot.
and it works two ways. How many times have I pulled into a spot and I'll say, Captain say, Serge, I've been here 30 minutes, man. We ain't got a bite. So I'll go 10 feet away more than where he was, and I'll start catching some fish within 10 minutes. Sometimes I'm leaving, and I tell
Yeah.
the other guy, I've been here for 40 minutes, can't get anything to bite. And then he'll call me that night and said, man, you should have hung around another 20 minutes.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
they start, so you don't know. But unless you try it, you
Right.
ain't going to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you learn new places? By going to new places. You
Right.
don't learn new places by going to the same old place all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know that a couple, and I don't hear that much about it anymore, about 4 or 5 years ago, there was 3 or 4 captains that are captains now in the area that were hiring guides and didn't tell them that they were getting their captain's license and nothing. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
they just
that
weren't
would
up
be-
front. And then all of a sudden you hear that, oh man. Now, on the other hand, the guy did pay the captain full price 3 times to take him out.
Mhm.
So he paid for those trips. It wasn't like he stole them from the guy,
Right.
but he didn't tell the guy, listen, I'm going to be a captain and I'm trying to learn new places. And I think a lot of times, you know what? You can take them to places that they're not exactly your honey hole to help somebody out. I've done it.
Yeah.
But it's when they don't tell you anything. And then all of a sudden, 8 months later, you find out that, hey, Captain John Smith, man, he's fishing a lot of these spots that I took him to. I didn't know he was a captain, you know?
Yeah. It's either that or when you're offshore, because it happened to me a lot in Pensacola when you're offshore
Oh.
and the guy's doing this more than he's fishing, it means he's marking that spot. He's got that
I think
GPS on his phone and he's marking that spot. So, and it happens. It's just one of those things. Unfortunately, it happens in our field that people do, but you know, and you can't do anything about it.
No,
Just part of it. But you know, you would hope that you know you're out there to do an honest job. You'd hope that the client that you have with you is being just as honest of what's happening. So that's all.
and like I said, the guy paid for the trips. He
Mhm.
didn't, you know, he didn't do anything wrong. But sometimes it's nice that, you know, they tell you.
Yeah.
I know that one time I had the same thing I had when I was teaching the fishing school before the internet changed the way we do things. I had one guy that signed up and took the whole course and found out that he just got his captain's license and he was trying to learn about fishing. Now, mind you, this is the scary part. He had never owned a boat before,
Oh,
came from up north, took my fishing school to learn how to fish, but had a captain's license, had just gotten a captain's license.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
you know,
that's
captain's
what
license
Steve
is not
School does.
only for doing fishing charters. They could run a tugboat.
That's right, you know. But
So,
anyway, why don't we let's put Jim Pace on.
yeah.
Hey guys, Jim with your Pasco County Fishing Report. Everything this week has been going on. It's a lot to go over. We'll start with bait. Bait's back. Bait's been good. Variety of sizes. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to use that day. If you want the big ones, if you want the small ones, depending on what you're going after and how you want to do it. Hudson, Green Key, Cody River, Anclote, everywhere, bait. As far as fishing, number one thing right now, obviously everybody knows, is tarpon. Tarpon is out there on the beaches like crazy. Tuesday or Wednesday, I was out. I went out front early in the morning just to see, ended up finding a pod of tarpon. I got a nice little video for you guys. Hopefully Hota could put it up for you. Probably, 20, 30 of them, all 150 pounds plus, just doing circles. I went down from them, floated a big pinfish under a bobber, and just waited for them to come to me. Ended up hooking one, broke off. I picked up, went down, and waited for him to come back again. Ended up hooking another one and broke off. So I was 0 for 2 on tarpon, but nonetheless, that was fun. The main bite in the beginning of the week, as far as inshore species, redfish, was easy to get. Super fun, super large ones, actually, 27 plus inch, quite a few. Cut bait on the bottom during the slacker tide was good. But if you were fishing the incoming or outgoing tide, live bait was the way to go, for those reds in the beginning of the week. Towards the end of the week, snook definitely was the hot key. Friday when I went out, it was absolutely amazing. We had snook everywhere on Friday, good water flow. The last part of incoming tide and the first part of outgoing tide was just phenomenal. We got a slam super early in the morning, and then went out and looked for tarpon. Found a couple pods of tarpon Friday as well. They were sitting actually on the flat. They were smaller ones, 60, 70 pound ones, just doing circles on the flats. And that was cool just to watch them. They didn't want nothing to do with us. We couldn't hook any of those, but that was definitely fun to see them and how they react. And just seeing that large creature just in the water is amazing always. As far as trout goes, trout was good as usual. 3-4 foot unless you're on the beach. And then anywhere on the beach right out from where you usually find snook. A little bit deeper will be trout. Depends on if there's grass or not. If you're up on the sand area, trouts are pretty tucked in those little potholes on the sand. And then, of course, on the grass flat or any drop off where you have a beach and it drops off into grass, they're there. But if you're going up in the creeks, canals, the trout have been sitting on the edge of those creeks or canals, and the whatever deep area trough comes out of those places, that's generally where I've found the trout. On my way into the backwaters, I found the trout there. Other than that, this week's, looking pretty good. Normal weather activity for this time of year. Wind goes in and out. You just got to be careful when you're out there. Always checking wind before you go out as well, because it definitely changes. From if you're checking weather the night before, check again in the morning before you go out, because it could definitely turn on you real quick. Afternoon showers, things like that are going to start happening. It's that time of year. It's going to get hot. So everybody be safe out there, and hopefully I'll get a new report for you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Yep.
So we got, I guess,
We got a guy called.
following weekend. We've got
Huh?
the boat show.
Yeah, a week from this weekend, we
Mhm.
got the Tampa Boat Show, and Mike and I will be there. And it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to have some great seminars. If you come by our booth, we're going to have Florida Fishing Products with their reels and super deals on it. Also, we're going to have the Hyper rods, those blue rods behind me, at a heck of a deal. Especially if you buy a spinning reel from Florida Fishing Products right next to us, we're going to give you a super deal. You're going to get
Yeah.
all kind of. You let me put it this way: you're going to want to go home and tell the wife, "Come over here, give me some money. I want to buy a couple more." But
Well, we get some
it's
more. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be. We're looking forward to seeing a lot of people, and you know, I think you're going to see that it's going to be fun. Plus, it's hot out there, and it's air conditioned in this place.
Yeah, it is.
And there's going to be a lot of good
The
boat sales.
The 26th, 27th, and 28th,
28th,
the Florida Fairgrounds, starting at 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. on
All
301. So yeah, just come on by. We'd love to have you there. Come and look at some boats. Come and talk to us. There's going to be some good deals, plus some great seminars by some really great speakers. So you can't just show up. You're going to have fun. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah. It's a good time.
And if you want to learn how to throw a bait net, Nick's going to be there throwing the net. And plus, you'll get some pretty good bargains on bait nets if you're looking to catch your own bait when you find it.
And I use this bait. I don't use it too often up here, but when I was down there in Fort DeSoto, we used it. It's easy to cast. It's a wonderful, wonderful product. I couldn't say anything bad about it. I love the whole design of it. It was made catching bait by throwing a net a lot easier. So
Are you using the 1.1 or the 1.3 or the 1.6? I use the 1.1. That's all I need.
yeah, 1.1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that's 1 pound, 1 ounce per foot. And when you think about it, a 10-foot net, that's just about, a little over 10
It's still
pounds.
it's
still
still a
heavy.
job. I think I threw that thing about 20 times or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
But could you imagine throwing everybody
Oh,
throws 1.6, which is
Yeah.
16 pounds, and once that net gets wet the first time, add another pound to it. So you're
Yeah.
throwing 17 versus 10 and a half. Man, let me tell you, your back will tell you that you're doing good.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
now you got some pictures that you want to talk about.
I do. I've got a few pictures. Went out a couple times last week.
So,
So this is I love this video here because the water clarity out here
oh
is
man,
just
look at that.
unbelievable.
Not bad.
And it was just it's a little tougher fishing, especially that out there. I mean, it's just glass, so you have to make some long casts and find these fish. I was up in the tower a lot more than I was anything else, just kind of locating these fish. But yeah, it's when it's glass out there, it's a little tougher, and it's been that way. There's the perfect picture of it. It just looks like a mirror. So when it gets glass like that, and that's what I want to kind of talk about, definitely need to change your game up in finding the long cast, because when it's low tide, tide's coming in at that time, these fish are in shallow water. They're highly, highly spooked. So your approach to any of this when it's glass like that is very, very slow. In fact, you can see how far we are away from that island. We eventually got closer to that island, but I stopped the boat probably another quarter mile before that. So no wake of the boats going up there, nothing like that. They can't really feel you. My trolling motor's on very, very low. It's taking our time to get up there because when it's glass like that, when it's shallow, these fish are really, really spooky, and they're going to move off of the area that you want to fish or where they're set up, and they're just going to disappear on you. So just take your time, make it slow, get up there and do the right approach, because and it's been that way this whole past week. It's just been glass early morning till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the wind starts picking up a little bit. But that early morning glass is really fun to fish. It's beautiful to see. You can see just about everything, all the fish out there, but you just have to slow down, take your time. And not only that, when you present your baits, you want to present them as quietly as possible. So that particular day when we were catching those redfish there, we were using the smaller pinfish, casting as far as we can with the smaller pinfish, so what hits the surface of the water is very, very small, so it doesn't spook any fish that are around either. So just kind of little key things when you're fishing very, very clear, calm water. Take your time, smaller baits, and you're going to be a little bit more successful. Since the wind has kind of kicked up in the past few days, the bite has turned on, especially in redfish. They're definitely a little more active. You can get up closer to them. So just pay attention to that in the summertime, because you're going to have the early mornings quiet, beautiful out there. Just take your time and do it. But most everything's been catch on pinfish, cut baits, especially in the shallows. And I'm fishing more the incoming tide in the morning. That seems to be the better bite. Morning bite from daybreak till about 9, 10 o'clock. And then after that, kind of slows down a little bit and all the way through the afternoon. Trout are still out there. If you find the rocks out there, 2-3 miles out in the 6 to 10 foot range around those rock piles, if you go out there looking for grunts or some mangroves and stuff, throw around those rock piles, because that's where you're going to find the trout. That seems to be where they're setting up right now. Cobia are still out there pretty good on the wrecks and reefs out there, catching some good mangrove snappers out a little bit farther. Haven't seen too many bites on the grouper yet, but I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they're still there. I haven't fished the shallow rocks to tell you if the grouper are on the shallows inside and all, but tarpon are rolling. See them every morning picking up bait. So if you get a chance, get out there. So that's my report for up here.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Hey,
At least you guys are starting to catch some decent fish. I was looking at some of the pictures, you know.
yeah. It's definitely gotten better. It's a summertime pattern now, and of course, in 2 weeks we're going to have scalloping here, so it's just going to be free for all at the ramps and everything else. You want to go fishing, especially on the weekend, get there before the sun comes up is the only thing I can tell you, because it's going to get a nut house once scalloping season starts. So,
And
just
that's going to be
prepare.
officially, when does it open, Mike?
So scallop season opens July 1st, the July 1st holiday weekend. That's always the
For
biggest.
how long? How long is it going to be open?
Through September 24th. And so far, the reports I've got, and again, I was supposed to go out this week, but we didn't. Maybe this week we'll get out and do some snorkeling. Maybe next week, who knows? But I've heard reports that scalloping is supposed to be very, very good this year. So if you want to get out some scalloping, give me a call. I've got plenty of boats available. Take any size parties. So let me know, and we'll get you out there and get your limits pretty quick.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And
I'm
like
looking forward to it. It's been a year since I've had them. I'm really ready to eat some scallops.
I was talking to Holta, and we're talking about maybe doing a scallop.
I think so. I think we need to do a scalloping show. I really do.
Of course, he don't like to be in the water, but we will get in the water with the cameras.
Hey,
with
no
the
problem. Give me a
GoPros.
camera. I'll take care of it. I did plenty of videos some years ago doing scalloping. Real easy. We'll do it. I've got an eagle eye for him. We can find him.
But Holta being Colombian like that, oh, those bull sharks, they like them.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Nobody can see him off camera. He's making some faces off camera. So we'll put you in the water, Hota. I'll make sure I'll chum the water up. I'll chum it up for you before you get in.
I mean, I think it would make a nice show to be able to do something,
I think so. And in fact, I mean, I do a lot of the kind of a split trip. We go in early morning, kill a couple of redfish, and then, once it get a couple of redfish, we go off and do some scalloping. So you got fish and scallops for your clients. It's a really good way to do it in the summertime, because once that sun gets up and it hits the 94, 95 degree, it's just too hot to fish. It really is. So to be able to jump in the water, get cooled off, and find some scallops is really good.
Now, normally, what time is the best time for scalloping as far as during the day?
It really
you
doesn't
want the
matter.
sun up somewhat. You got to have a little bit of sunlight. of course.
Yeah, you have to have some sunlight. It definitely helps. The water clarity here is very good at any time. But I've been out doing scalloping, and then again, it depends on how many I've booked that day. But I've done them as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. So as long as there's enough light, you can pretty much see them. As long as you're in the right shallow enough water, shouldn't be a problem. So, yeah.
But what we're telling you guys, get on the phone, call Mike, because where he's at is a great area to go scalloping. But the problem is, a lot of people procrastinate. They wait till the last minute, then they call and they find out that there's nobody scalloping. They're all good.
Everything gets booked up pretty quick, and right now, for most of July, I think there's only a few dates still available. So, it's kind of one of those things that you kind of have to book early if you want to book a trip. But like I said, I've got plenty of contacts and plenty of people and plenty of boats to pretty much accommodate anybody.
So let's call Mike. And guys, thank you. It's 8 o'clock again. Boy, where has time gone by tonight? It really went by fast.
It did.
And we're looking forward to hearing from you. Please send in you don't have to be a captain. If you got something, send us a fishing report with a short video or whatever. Get a hold of us. We can give you how to send it to Holta, and we'd love to put it on the air. We'd love to see something different.
Yeah.
So and again, guys, thank you, and ladies, for tuning in, and we'll be talking to you next week.
Sounds good. Y'all have a good week.
Take care. Goodbye.